So there's a lot going on out there. It's something that we're really trying to look at these Google groups that are interest-based or translated from groups and LinkedIn groups and so on, and see what people are sharing there. Anyone else?
Did I understand you well that you want to keep the translation memory you are gathering open to the public?
Absolutely, open source.
You said that, okay, this could be another motivation. I'm creating a tool for further work. If I, for example, being a translator from, let's say, from Arabic into English, I have other text to translate, and I'm entitled to use this open source translation memory to help me for my work. Maybe not directly, but for future projects of my own.
That's very interesting. Do you think then, it's certainly something that although we haven't actually officially released our translation memory in that way, we will be doing so very shortly, but do you think that a bold statement, because my fear is always with technical things like translation memory, to be that kind of wider set of translators and language learners who are maybe not accustomed to what translation memories are and what they do, that motivation takes quite a lot of explaining. I mean, how do you explain to a translator, a new translator, we have an open source translation memory and this is what it can help you do. There's a lot of things to explain there.
You're talking about the wording you use, or okay, it depends on the, let's say, the knowledge that the translator has, what kind of translation he or she does. But I think the translation memory, I would guess, is a term which every translator should know, or you can put something else, database, where you have a bilingual database for phrases, and this is another source for your work. You have memory, you have dictionaries, paper and online, you have another source that you can use. Okay.
I'm glad you saying that though.
I'm not a journalist and a marketing person.
You think that would be a good motivation? I'm glad to hear you say that though, because certainly, sorry, I was always concerned that translators would actually be suspicious and see translation memories as threatening, because to some extent it's removing their work. I mean, obviously it's speeding up their work, and frankly there's more and more work to do. But my fear was always that the idea of any kind of automation, any kind of technical way of speeding up translation might be perceived as a threat by translators. But you're saying actually it's an asset.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's a good point.
I think in the first place it's the easy bit, I guess, to explain people this could be a motivation for you using this open source. And you have open source translation memory. You have to make sure you check against other sources. Okay, this one thing. I think the danger I see, the risk I see is that you wind up by that companies, profit-oriented companies will use it as well. And people who are motivated to contribute to something free of charge, to something community-oriented, they say, oh, I don't know, I think I will not contribute anymore because I see that companies now also use, or let's say,
making use of my work for free.
Yeah, okay. So
it's interesting, it works both ways, because if you invest time into open source translation memory, that becomes a kind of advocacy tool for those proprietary translation memories, those translation services which are proprietary, to say that for them to use your open source translation memory, they have to license their entire translation service under that same license. That's the whole beauty of a Creative Commons license. Creative Commons says, if you want to use this, you're welcome to, but you must attribute it. So, that actually becomes an advocacy tool to creating more open source. I don't know if that is you agree?
Yeah, okay.
What I was going to say is simply that it doesn't hurt to provide basic educational tools to your users, and that there probably isn't any good reason to assume that a new translator would know terms like even localization or translation memory,
can't assume, no.
No, I would say that it's probably not an asset, and if you want to encourage people to use the data that you have available, that providing the very basics of what is translation memory and how you can use it, and here are some open source tools that you can use to use this translation memory, would be sort of a gift, if you will, to the people who are contributing to your pool of data.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
I mean, the point is obviously that what we're doing is saying, with this data we can actually do more translation and improve the state of cross-language interaction on the web between the language pair. So we're trying to make a wider contribution, and by open sourcing that translation memory, we're really trying to kind of leverage our data and scale the impact.
I think that they've made really good points, because remember when Facebook started with this whole thing, I studied translation too, I had several friends, and their reaction in all the cases was the same. It's like, I'm going to translate for them, they have enough money,
Yeah.
because we didn't see how this was going to profit anyone other than Facebook, I mean the user community. While if we had heard that Facebook was going to then release the resulting translations as a translation memory, I think that would have changed my attitude towards their initiative.
I know LinkedIn got this terribly wrong, didn't it? I think they went out to translators and said, would you be interested in doing this for free? And people said no thanks.
Because as professionals, you value your work, and if you can do, if you're benefiting a greater community, then you have motivation. As we said, thinking that someone is going to have access to the translation memory. It's pretty much the same principle as in open source software. While in Facebook you're translating within what they always say in the internet, the walled garden.
Yeah.
This translation is not bringing value to anyone that's not a Facebook user.
Yeah.
And that definitely put me off.
It is worth pointing out just how popular Facebook is in the Middle East, actually. It's something like 1.8 million users of Facebook in Egypt alone. Really enormous numbers of users of Facebook, and if you compare that with Twitter, there's only 14,000 Twitter users in the whole of the Middle East at this point, so it's really quite incredible. But interest in the Middle East and in Arabic is growing, and this is shown recently by Yahoo, who went and bought Mac2, one of the biggest internet services providers. The region is bubbling. People are really starting to get interested in the Arabic speaking world. Does anyone have any other points maybe before we have a...
Yes. Could we come back, because you are mentioning Facebook, very interesting. I saw a presentation of the guy who managed this whole project. You will know more about that. I was quite impressed. But I'm still struggling to understand what you are doing in terms of translation. Let's say quality assurance is something that I would call, let's say, community-specific crowdsourcing, something like that.
Sure.
And I'm interested. I saw the quality assurance process of Facebook, and it's kind of rating and voting and so on. But I think compared to your texts, these texts are quite straightforward. It's how to use the tool, an online tool. Here these are journalistic articles about hot topics, and how do you make sure in your quality assurance process that the translation you get of an article from, let's say, from Arabic into English, that's a good translation, not only in terms of not committing mistakes, but in terms of not being biased when translating some fact that happened.
It's a huge challenge, isn't it? I think the answer has to be that you have to have a comment. I think Wikipedia's got it right in the sense that they have a comment page where you've got to say that this translation process is part of the dialogue, is part of the conversation. There may actually not be one right answer. We need to have a conversation about it. Obviously, Wikipedia comes to a resolution through a process of consensus. We don't have a resolution policy